It's Saturday, it's 85 degrees out. Why not do one of the least enjoyable jobs on the farm? Really, I'm mostly doing this because I want to get a workout in, get swole, live swole, you know, all that. And I was thinking, if I'm just sitting inside all weekend thinking about how a bin needs swept out, I'm just going to be thinking about it. It's better to just get some work done on it. Not going to be able to get the whole bin swept out. I can get 3 loads into the overhead. Obviously, it's a Saturday, so I can't haul. And I have a pretty busy week too, so we might not even get this all cleaned out this week. But before harvest, I have about 2 loads of soybeans left in one bin, and then I have these loads of corn. I want to get these loaded out, get them out of here so we can get everything prepped for fall. We have 5 grain bins here. We have the largest corn bin left. And then we always just keep 1 bin with soybeans in it. But I have, my dad's here because you should never get in a bin unaccompanied in case something goes bad. I have my N95. This is a Honeywell N95 mask. It would be better for me to have a respirator, but if I go in a grain bin without any mask on, I'm going to be sick all week. I do not do well at all with dust, so the minor inconvenience of having a mask on totally outweighs any issues for me. I should wear hearing protection because it's loud in there, but honestly, I'm going to listen to a podcast because it's better for me to have something to think about other than the grain bins. Got my gloves, already have a shovel in there. JD already started this bin while I was hauling it out on Friday. So it started, I think we're, I don't know, maybe a third of the way around. So we'll see how much we can get done today. We got the gloves, we got the mask, we got the positive attitude. Now to turn things on. First thing, we need to make sure that we have autofill on. Yes. Leg running. Unloaders. Back auger. Big bin unload. Let's go. Now, with me buying my dad out, I did not buy the bin setup. This is something that I rent from him. But this bin was built when I was in high school, and it's 12 years old now. It is 48 foot across, and it has 24 rings high. It holds approximately 102,000 bushels of corn, and we always fill this bin with corn. Being that we're almost always a 50-50 split between corn and soybeans, and the corn produces such a higher volume of bushels, I don't really ever foresee us ever storing soybeans in here unless if a whole bunch of people reach out about me castrating their ground. But this is our largest bin by a long shot, and it's also our only bin with a side draw and with temperature cables. So the temperature cables are a great tool. We know that we had a hot spot in the bin this winter, and we were able to monitor it and make sure that it didn't become an issue. And then the side draw is really cool because it is typically much faster than loading trucks, just from the fact that the unloading speed itself is much faster, but also we don't have to worry about moving grain through the whole grain leg in the system, worrying about cleaning up the leg, getting water out. Now, in the winter, we did have a handful of days where the side draw was frozen shut and we couldn't get it open, but we weren't desperate to get the corn moved on those particular days, so we just waited till it was warmer out to get it unloaded. Now, our other issue with the side draw is that there was a little bit of a plug in that as well, so it took about 10 to 15 minutes to unload, whereas normally it takes about 5 minutes. Now, the other perk of the side draw is that it doesn't use electricity. And then it would also allow me, in theory, to have one truck loading soybeans from the middle and then someone loading off the side with corn if that came up. It has not come up yet, but in theory, I could do that. And I would just love if I could draw all of the corn that sits above that side draw off. But when you have a side draw, you have to go back and forth between taking it out of the bottom and taking off the side so that the weight is distributed evenly. Now, the sump plugging with the bird's nest that we had issues with a couple weeks before, that was very annoying, and I'm super glad that it didn't start becoming an issue until this bin was almost unloaded. I did find a bird in the bin as I was sweeping things up. And then as far as the quality of the corn in the bin, I'm very happy with it. Vomitoxin has been an issue in our area for a handful of years now. It's just this little bit of a nightmare that we seem to be dealing with. And in our area, we feed a lot of hogs, and hogs are particularly sensitive to vomitoxin. Now, knock on wood, I have yet to be rejected with a load. I think I had like 3 loads test over 10 parts per million this year, but nothing was rejected. I just had to sit in the line of shame a few times. So besides that, we had really good numbers, and we got some premium payments on it as well for that really low vom stuff. Now, had I marketed this corn better, it could have gone way above the extra I got with the premium payments, but I'm going to try not to dwell on that because marketing is always so much clearer in hindsight. One thing I need to get replaced is that wheel on the end of the auger. It's not working super well. It should run itself, but it kept getting caught and stuck in different places, and it's kind of wearing thin. So I need to get that changed. The other thing I am tempted to get is some savers. We always just have these little metal triangle things that we put over the pits that have worked out fine in the past. But just since we had this issue with this bin clogging, I would like to maybe try something else. Just because I have just like a little foreshadowing of how annoying it could be if we had a large issue in this bin. And if you're picking up on any click-clacking around me as I'm talking, I am doing this voiceover in my kitchen, and my dog Ethel is walking around, and now I'm petting her on the forehead, so she's being quiet. Now, before fall, I need to get our dryer serviced. I would love to get a new dryer. That is something I'm going to start really looking into for potentially next year. I'm not looking for a large investment, but there are grants available when you do energy saving practices. So I'm going to start looking into that. And then I need to get the augers into our 2 small bins that got new augers put inside the bins. Those still need to be hooked up to the drag. And then one of my bin indicator lights isn't working. I need to get that fixed as well. I feel like there was one other thing that I needed the electrician to do while he was there. Oh, once the new bins are hooked up, he'll have to wire the stuff so that we can get those things on our little monitor thing in the electrical building. Now, if you're looking at my green bin cleaning technique, I am just using a shovel to get out the edge where the sweep doesn't reach, and then shoveling a few feet around the outside. Now, I use a small broom to get the edge and a larger broom as well. I've seen people use leaf blowers and different gadgets and tools. Now, sometimes if both JD and I are in there, we could scoop all of the corn behind the sweep so the auger only makes one pass around. But that's really too much work to do with just one person, and it's not really necessary. We can just make a second pass around, and it'll scoop up all the stuff that we didn't get scooped up the first time. So this auger leaves maybe an inch of corn under the sweep. Overall, it's not too bad of a job. I ended up sweeping it out on a few different days just because the other stuff that we had going on. It's a great workout, but I wouldn't want to do it more than once a year.
Okay, the GoPro overheated before I did. We're still going. I'd say we're half done now. Hey, that means we're full. That means I'm done. Whew. Oh, I should have waited till I got out of the bin to get this off. It's still dusty. But we are half done. GoPro hot. Now these are bin indicator lights, so red, yellow, green for the 3 bin indicators up there. The middle one is broken, so we're gonna get that fixed before harvest, but red means it's all full, so we gotta shut the leg down. Okay, and I want to get the stuff in the back drag unloaded, so we go into here, we go into indicators, autofill off, and then we'll run the leg and the back drag, the back auger. To get that cleaned out. A little more can always fit in the overhead, but we just do enough to get that cleaned out, and then make sure we turn off and turn the autofill unload, autofill off. I am so hot. Holy dang.
Swept some more out a few days later. We had a lot going on in the shop, and it was kind of nice to do this on a couple different days just because this is a pretty laborious task. So spending an hour here and there getting it done worked out pretty well. Overall, this has been cleaned up pretty nicely. There was a little bit of corn sticking to some higher up rings that I noticed. Dad suggested throwing a basketball around to knock off the edges once I get this thing scooped up. I might do that because it just sounds like fun. And then to make a very unsatisfying ending to this video, I forgot to actually record this bin being all cleaned out. And then to get the last of the corn moved out, you have to clean out the leg and throw that pile into the truck. That's always a fun task to do, a good workout. But I'm glad all this corn is moved out. And now we're ready to fill this bin back up next year. Do it all again. Thank you guys for watching, and I would love to get your guys' opinions in the comments. Do we like these videos where I talk about one specific task, or the video recaps of all the stuff we get done in the week? I'm just kind of playing around with different things, seeing what the people like. But thank you again for subscribing, for watching, for supporting my channel. I appreciate it so much. See you next time. Bye.